Hello, welcome back to Healing Mama podcast. I'm your host, Val, aka Healing Mama, and today's episode is entitled Deep Waters. So let's go ahead and get into it. So I was scrolling through TikTok the other day, and there was a quote that immediately caught my attention. And I was like, wow, I feel this. I really feel this, and I feel like it was something that God was showing me for me. The quote is, I asked God why He's been leading me through deep waters. And He said, because what's been chasing you can't swim. And I feel that to my core. At this very season of my life, I feel those words deeply because I've been going through a lot. I feel like God is taking me through levels. At times, I look at everything that I'm going through in life and my current situations and just everything that is my life currently. And I do feel that. Sometimes I'm like, "Oh, God, I'm trying my best. I'm trying to be the best person I can be. I'm trying to be the best example I can be. I'm trying to live the best life that I can in terms of like who I am and how I am as a person. And I'm on the struggle bus. And I just feel like I'm being stretched and to become this person. And I know that God is leading me through this journey and everything that I'm going through for a reason. But sometimes I'm like, God, I can barely keep my head above water and still remain a positive person and with the perspectives that I've learned so far. And so I find myself asking God, why? Why am I still going through these battles, through these struggles? And when I saw that quote, I was like, wow, that's God speaking to me. He's leading me through these struggles, tests, these trials, and putting me in high water because what's been chasing me can't swim. So when I saw that quote, I was just like, okay, God, I see you. Thank you. Thank you for this sign. Thank you for this message. And I accept it. And not only am I looking at life currently with now that aspect, that perspective of what's been chasing me can't swim, but I'm also reminding myself of what I've learned in the past, which is sometimes doors close for a reason, so God can open new ones. And sometimes people can't come with you through those doors. And so, as much as you want it, God knows that that's not what is for your greatest and highest good. So, trusting that process, right? Kind of like what we talked about last week. And so, it's easy to ask yourself questions like, why are things getting heavier? Why do I feel like I'm being pushed and stretched past my limit? Have you guys ever seen how they make hard candies? So they get the sugar, the molasses, everything, they get it and they form it into this big ball. And it's this big ball of sugar. And they have to stretch it. So they put it on this hook and they have to stretch it and stretch it and stretch it. And you just see them going over and over and it looks exhausting, right? But they're stretching it, they're just working with it, they're molding it, and then finally they get the end result, the thinness or thickness, whatever they're doing, and they get it the consistency that they need it, and then they're able to shape and mold into the perfect little candies that we get. And so I feel like that's what I'm going through right now. I'm on the hook right now, and I'm just being stretched and stretched and stretched, and God's working with me so that He can mold me into the perfect piece that He's looking for. Not saying that I'm going to be perfect, but perfect in His eyes, right? But sometimes it does feel overwhelming and that stretching does hurt. And sometimes it's like, okay, God, like I'm barely keeping my head above water. Sometimes it's like, okay, God, like I can I catch my breath? And you feel that pressure. You're feeling that pressure, but like the quote says, He's leading you through the deep waters because what's chasing you can't swim. So what if those deep waters are for your protection? And sometimes I guess it's about looking at hard seasons and understanding them truly for what they are as lessons, as guidance, as God's protection versus misunderstanding it and just looking at it from a victim's mentality. What if this season is actually aligning me for my greatest and highest good? What if it's aligning you for your greatest and highest good? What if this discomfort is confirmation that God is still by your side and He's still protecting you? And I want to share something with you guys. Right now, I'm in a season of my life where, like I said earlier, I feel like I'm barely keeping my head above water. And to get on here week after week and put content out for you guys, but not just content, but content out there that is real, that is my current situation, that is working towards a greater and higher good, right? I could sit here and I could tell you guys, like, oh, this is what's happening, blah, blah, blah. I can explain every problem and issue that I have to you. But if there's no end result, lesson, or tools that you can take from it, it's a waste of time. But all that I'm going through in this current stage of life does make it hard. It makes it hard for me to get on here and film, and it does make it hard for me to continue to push and provide guidance for you guys when sometimes I look at myself and I'm like, who am I to provide guidance? Who am I? Like, look at, I'm still going through things. I'm still struggling. And then God reminds me, you're struggling because I'm taking you somewhere. You're struggling so you can share your story with other people, so your test can be your testimony. And then I'm like, okay, God, I'm locked in. Yes, this sucks. 100%. It sucks. And I'm like, God, this sucks. I'm real with God. Him and I are besties. And I saw another thing on TikTok and it was like, me, right? It's like their point of view, and it's like me talking to God. Hey, big dog. It was God responding as, stop praying that way. Don't pray that way. And that was funny because to me, that's like the realness of when you have a relationship with God. You can come to God and be like, look, God, like, this is how I'm feeling. Like, I'm mad right now. I'm sad right now. And I feel like sometimes people don't see God like that. They see it as like, I'm coming to you, Holy Father. And I get that, right? I get that. I prayed like that before. But I see God as the, hey, big dog. And so when I saw that, that's God, that's my buddy, that's we locked in, me and God, we're locked in, I'm telling you. And I talked to God and I'm like, God, this sucks. This sucks. I'm hurting. Please, like if you can give me an ounce of just a second to breathe, I need it. And sometimes I just sit back and I'm like, man, like I just need a second. I need some air. God, keep my head above water. And then I wonder, how did I even get here? And then I remember everything is in divine alignment as it should be in God's timing. I'm being honest right now, this point in my life, it's nothing like I expected it to look like. And I think that's the hardest part. I had envisioned what my life would look like at this very moment, and it looks nothing like that. And maybe you're there too. Maybe you feel that same thing with me. We're in that in between space, that growing, that stretching, that putting us in the furnace phase. That's the deep water. And I don't want you to think that I ever stopped trusting God, right? Because I do trust God. I do surrender, but that's where I'm saying that communication with God, that locked in relationship with Him, with your higher power, whoever your higher power is, that locked in relationship with your higher power where you can come and you can just be real and let your heart open. That's what keeps me going day to day to day to day. When I'm like, God, I don't feel like filming today. God, I don't feel like motivating people today. He put something in my path to show me that that's what I need to continue to do. And as I have been going through life and these struggles, I've had women gravitate towards me and women that I don't even know, guys, or God has placed them in my path and they're reaching out to me. They're telling me their deepest hurts, their current situations, and I'm there to hold a space for them in my heart and just talk to them and share my experiences with them, share my beliefs, my thoughts. And it's not that I want them to believe what I believe or I'm pushing on them what I believe, but I am the person that does believe in you have to believe in something because if you don't believe in anything, you'll fall for everything. I'm pretty sure the quote sounds a little bit different, but I gave it to you in my version. So I hope you get that. But I do believe you have to have faith in something. You do have to have some kind of belief. And so sharing my beliefs and letting them know, like, hey, this is my belief. This is my situation. They're gravitating towards me and God is sending them to me. And I'm grateful. I feel like God is doing that to show me to keep going because I have a story to tell and I have people to extend a hand to. So I want you to remember whatever you're going through right now, when you're feeling like you're in deep water, when you just feel like nothing's working out and you're struggling and you can't breathe and you feel like almost like you've lost a sense of control because a lot of the times we are holding on to control. When you feel like you've lost that control, maybe you lost that control because it was never meant to be in your hands, which I do believe, but you lost the control so now God can take that over. So it can now be in God's hands. So I'm going to ask you right now, as you're going through deep waters, if that's your current situation, or if you've gone through deep water in the past and now you're out, you're dry, you're on solid dry land, you're good, reflect with me. What's been chasing you or what was chasing you? Sometimes it can be people, it can be situations, but a lot of the time it can be internal. It can be abandonment issues. It can be fear of failure. It can be anything. Maybe it's a voice inside of you that's telling you you're not enough. Maybe it's the patterns you keep repeating day after day, even though you know that they're no longer servicing your greatest and highest good. But now you're finally coming to a situation to where those situations, those things, those thoughts, those old traumas that hurt, it can't follow you anymore. And so there's something about that deep water. You can't fake it in deep water, right? I can't really swim the greatest. I can like swim underwater. Doggy paddling, I can't do it. Swimming above water, I can't do it, right? So you put me in deep water, I can tell you, oh yeah, I can swim, I can swim. You throw me in deep water, I'm gonna show you that I can't swim, right? You can't fake it. When you're going through deep waters, you can't fake who you are. You can't fake how you feel. You can't pretend you're okay. You can't distract yourself the same way that you used to because that depth forces honesty and sometimes it forces the clarity and honesty is where the healing begins, right? So what I'm going through right now and my deep waters and my situations, God is showing me I still have a lot of work to do. And God is showing me one thing out of all of this that I've been through these last couple of months. God's showing me that I need to learn to love myself, right? And I've always, in a sense, thought I loved myself. Like when I started the healing journey, I thought I was becoming this person that loved themselves. But God is showing me now I need to learn to love myself and sit with myself and be able to sit alone and appreciate myself for me and the other people that love me along the way and in my life currently, that's a plus. But God is working with me on that. And I feel like that's a big testimony that I'm going to have is the self-love side of things because I'm learning and I'm growing and I'm learning to sit with myself and love me and be grateful for me. And the rest is additional love. So even when something needs to part ways with you, situations, people, things, whatever it is, it hurts, right? It hurts and you're like, man, do I really got to do this, God? Like, do I really got to let this thing go? Do I really got to let this person go, this situation, this job, whatever it is? And you don't want to let it go, right? That's that control. And you're like, no, I can't, I can't, I can't, I can't. I challenge you. Let go of that control and let God take it into his hands. Let go of the people, let go of the situations, let go of expectations, let go of the life that you thought you had, or let go of the idea of the life that you thought you were going to have at this moment. And with that is going to come grief because you're letting go of the idea of what was to be. You have to close that chapter, right? And you're allowed to feel that grief. That's okay because this healing journey isn't about pretending things never happened. It's the total opposite. This healing journey is about bringing up everything that we tried to just bury deep down inside of us, bringing up all the hurt, the trauma, the pain, bringing that up. Healing is saying it did matter. That situation, that person, that thing, that relationship, that job, it did matter, but I'm still moving forward. And when you're going through deep waters, personally want to say in my experience, feeling a level of silence and separation at the same time. I feel like as I'm going through this journey, God is separating me and kind of putting me in a corner and saying, like, hey, like, I'm going to kind of take you away a little bit. We're going to kind of withdraw and go back into our hermit shell right now. And that silence can feel like abandonment. You kind of start to feel a little bit lonely, but let's understand it. It's not abandonment. That's intimacy, intimacy with your higher power. Saying, okay, God, it's me and you. We're locked in. It's just us. Because when everything gets quiet, you can hear God speak clearly. I promise you. There's so many times where I'm like, okay, God, I hear you. Okay, God, I see you. Because the noise around me has silenced. So your intuition is going to sharpen, your awareness gets deeper. And the biggest part is your relationship with God becomes real. It's not routine because there is a difference, right? I could wake up in the morning, I could say the same prayer every single day. That's routine. But what's real is me speaking to God and telling him how I feel, speaking to him as if he's sitting right in front of me. And you might not see it yet, but the strength that you're building right now, it's different. It's not the kind of strength that says, oh, yeah, I got this. I can handle everything. It's the kind of strength that says, I don't have to handle everything alone. And when you realize that, at least for me, when I realized I don't have to handle it all alone, there was freedom in that. There was a sense of, I could breathe. All right, God, let's do this. Do I want to do it? No, but as long as I know God's by my side and we're locked in, let's do this. So right now, I would say I'm learning to float, right? Because before you learn how to swim and they're teaching you how to float, which I do know how to do, I can't swim, but I could freaking float. Because when they're teaching you how to float, that requires a certain level of trust. Trust in the person. So the person that's holding your back, right? You're floating in the water, they're holding your back and they're saying like, okay, I'm gonna let go right now. I'm gonna pull my hands back. You just gotta remain calm. Right now, that's me and God. I'm learning to float, and God is telling me, okay, I have my hands under your back. I'm gonna pull them away a little bit. You gotta trust me. And I'm like, okay, God, like I'm kind of sinking. And he's like, just breathe. We're gonna be okay. I'm learning to float right now. So even when my spirit, my instinct is telling me, shoot, I'm gonna fall. I'm scared. And I start to tense up, I have to learn to trust God. I have to learn to trust God and know that He's got me. And I have to learn to stop fighting in the water. I have to learn to just trust Him through it and know that I'm going to be okay. So, to all of you listening today, right now, to those of you that are feeling like you're carrying everything and you're tired and you can barely breathe and you're keeping your head above water, but it feels like you're just barely doing it, it feels like no one sees you. I see you. Your higher power sees you. And that's the most important thing. So, in those moments where you feel unseen, overlooked, in the moments where you're questioning your strength, you're not unseen in this season. So, walk with me through these deep waters and know that this isn't a season that's going to break us. But when we come out onto dry land, we're going to know who we really are, who God has created us to be. We're going to be this beautiful transformation of our perfect selves, made in God's image, made in your higher power's image. So today I'm going to do things a little bit differently. And this is not meant in any shape, form, or way to offend anybody, but this is something that God has called in my heart to do. So I'm going to say a prayer with you guys that I've written down. So I ask that you just take a moment just to close your eyes if you can, if you're not driving, if you're at home sitting down, however you're listening, if you're capable and able to close your eyes, I just want to speak this prayer over you. God, for every person that's listening right now, meet them in those deep waters. Let them know that you're standing right beside them. Remind them that they're not drowning, God, but that you're carrying them, that you have your hands underneath their back. Give them peace in the uncertainty. Give them strength in the waiting and clarity in the quiet and in the stillness, God. But most of all, help us trust that what couldn't come with us was never meant to stay with us. That in going and walking through these deep waters, God, the things that are chasing us can't swim, and that's your protection. Help us to see that, Lord God, and lead us and guide us. And when we're falling and we feel like we have one last breath to give, breathe life back into us, God, and lead us and guide us in all that we do. And in every way, show us that you're with us. Amen. Thank you for letting me pray over you guys. Just remember, one day the season is going to make sense. I keep telling myself that. I got out of the shower today and I was thinking about everything and telling God, I give it to you, God. And I felt like God was telling me, you're going to look back one day and realize everything that you're going through had purpose. So this struggle, this walking through the deep waters has purpose. There's a reason for it. The deep waters aren't going to take you out. They're going to take you somewhere better. And I ask if this episode has spoken to you in any way, if you feel connected to this episode, you know someone who's going through it and they're telling you that they just don't know how they're going to continue to go on with the situations that they have in their life, share this episode with it, screenshot it, tag me, send me a comment, DM me, message me. I love to communicate with you guys and I love to hear your stories or just your hey Val, thanks, I needed this one. I appreciate all the love that you guys send me. And if this is your first time listening, thank you for joining us. I send you so much love, joy, peace, happiness, and I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, follow. I am on YouTube, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Spotify, and TikTok. Across all social medias, you can find me at Healing Mama Podcast, with the exception of TikTok, where you can find me at Healing Mama Pod. Until next time, guys, I hope you have an amazing weekend. Bye.